I have learned a lot of things from ayahuasca. It would be much beyond my ability to control words, not only on a foreign language, but words in general, to try to reproduce all the beauty and all the blessings and all the teachings that I have received from ayahuasca. I consider ayahuasca a true friend, a true ally, a true partner. For me, it's like some being that I relate to, and there is there, and that I consult with, and it's a presence in my life. It guides a lot of what I do, and it has shown me really obvious things, but that needed to be shown, like, things that we take for granted on a normal basis. Small things, from the fact that what you eat goes back to the land and that you're going to die and your body is going to go to the earth, to big existential questions: what is time, what is space, who am I, where am I headed to, where are our ancestors, what is the nature of everything. It's very much related to the big issues of life, of the fact of the stars being up there and the moon being where it is. It always has some. It talks about this deep, profound things, and it also has a very nice, fun part, of just incredible visions and happiness, a lot of happiness, a lot of love into your heart, a feeling that you want to hug the tree and to say to your neighbor you love him. Of course, this is a little bit momentaneous. You get out of the ritual and this car passes through you and you're like really pissed off and you're already saying bad words 5 minutes after you got off the ritual. That's very true too. Yes, it doesn't last so much, but it's a very good thing that it's on the garden of Mother Nature for us to experiment. It's something that it's here, together with us. It's part of life, and it's there for people to try to see if they can learn from it or not, because I think people can be divided like, tribes. There are people that are more like Afro, and there are people that are like indigenous, and there are people that are more like Oriental. So you have to join your spiritual family, and also your drug or your substance, because I see the choice of drugs, of the use of drugs, analogous to the choice of food. Okay, so if you go to a restaurant, 5 people, and there's this buffet, you watch, there are gonna be 5 combinations of food. Everybody's eating one thing. That hairy guy, sweaty, he's drinking his thick beer, eating his, piece of meat, and then there's that thin girl with all that vegetarian thing, It's like people, there's a continuity between food and drug. It's the same thing, because the line that divides food and drug is very, very subtle. If you consider that the official definition of the OMS of drug is everything that you put into your body that alters it, but it doesn't feed you, it's not used to feed your basic needs, you already have a problem, because how can you define what is that? For example, if you only have beer, you're isolated in an island, and you only have beer. That beer you are going to drink will be a food for you, element. You're drinking it for its property to its nutritious properties, but it's also a drug, Or when the Spaniards and the Portuguese came to the old world, they could not transport water, so they fed their populations with wine. In that context, wine, because water would rotten. In that context, wine was food, So the line of food and drugs is very hard to establish. What is actually necessary for your body, and for what are you using what? So I see the drug choice as food choice. You have to choose what feeds you better, your body and your soul. And I think some people, they are of the family of ayahuasca, they are of the family of hallucinogens, and some people are not. You know, for example, me. I don't like to drink alcohol. I feel extremely oppressed in an alcohol-oriented world. I am completely abstinent. I hate alcohol. I hate wine. I hate all of them. I may get some liquor when I want to get high, you know, like I drink a little bit of liquor and I'm doing my show, you know, because it's like once a year maybe. But I don't like marijuana either. Marijuana leaves me a little bit retarded. Like I feel like I'm in this addiction propaganda, you know, of how your kid gets when he uses drug. It just leaves me paranoid, and I start to think, you know, I look at a book, and then I think, oh, how many trees died to make that book, and how many books exist in the world, and I will have to read them all, and all the trees are going to die, and then I start to get off this really bad path. So after some experimentation, no alcohol, no marijuana, no cannabis. But I like all the families of what called hallucinogens. It's just me, you know, it's something I like. I love to drink São Pedro. I just simply love. It's something that, you know, ask me what you like to do, like a perfect leisure. Go drink ayahuasca and then on the next day have a vegetarian meal. That's something that I, you know, makes me happy, this kind of joint program, you know. So I think it's like people need to find out their spiritual family and their drug family. And when you have that combination, you can develop more. And this, it's not fixed. You have to keep on studying because it also depends on the period of your life. Maybe when you're young, you need more of this, you know. Maybe when you're older, you need more of that. That changes, that develops. And it's also important for people to recognize those changes because maybe you're a super ayahuasca drinker and then to a certain point of your life, that's just not working for you, you know. And it's a little bit sad to leave it behind you. And to decide you have to drop.
Well, so what's your religious background?
Catholic?
Catholic?
Yes.
And does that inform your ayahuasca experiences?
Not so much, not like I'm thinking of Jesus, but it informs in a broader sense because Catholicism is a worldview. It's like, you know, Western in a very deep cultural meaning. So, for example, I get shocked with witchcraft, either from Afro-Brazilian or indigenous. I am very, you know, Catholic in this because we are brought up to divide very well mean and you know, good and bad, evil, and our gods are more you know, this we worship the good side, and the bad guys we don't like them, you know, devil and these other, for example, Afro religions. All the deities, they are very ambiguous. They are good and bad, and you have you have to treat them well too. You have to give pace to them too. And with the indigenous witchcraft, with ayahuasca, that is very true as well, because you cannot divide with a fine line what is good and bad. Because if I am attacked, I will counterattack you, and then I will heal myself. So am I being good or bad? Good and bad, right? So how can you? And it's legitimate in a certain way. And the witchcraft, I think it's, you know, it's shocking, but on the other side, I can understand a part of it. At least you have some kind of common language where people can interact, you know.